politics, business, sports, arts, music. Mike and Marty on the feed. Mike and Marty. Mike and Marty.
And here we go.
And here we are.
We're live on the feed. I'm looking through my bag, looking for the timer, but we're live. Good morning, Rockingham, and welcome to the feed. It's Mike, and Marty's back.
It's just the
We're
two
here,
of us
and
today.
It's just the two of us because we're coming up on Christmas, and everyone's getting ready for Christmas, and just
Crazy.
That's the way it is. It's crazy.
I don't think we've actually been in studio together in like a couple weeks, right?
No, we haven't.
Yeah, because
No.
we both have had crazy.
And then we've been trying to
things.
get we were working on promoting Christmas and stuff, and we can't get anybody to come on and promote Christmas.
Everyone's too busy, so we're just going to do it.
That's right, exactly. So,
Christmas events. So
well, before that, remember Pearl Harbor.
Oh, that's right. Today's Pearl Harbor
the
Day.
December 7th.
And I thought of that. I said, Mike's going to remember that, and Mike's going to talk about that because you always remember that kind of stuff, and I
remember it.
forget. I forget
No one
that
else
kind of stuff.
remembers it. I was surprised. I watched the news this morning, and there was not one
Really?
mention.
It's kind of sad.
That is
in a
sort
way,
of,
because
but,
it's a
you know,
whole generation of folks that probably maybe don't
remember
remember
it.
it.
I
or
mean,
really
not that I was
yeah.
of that generation, but
Uh-huh.
still. Huh.
interesting.
Anyway, local events.
Local events. So I just want to give a big round of thank yous and some shout outs for the Holly Jolly Follies last week. So last Thursday night, so what you're looking at right now is actually the stage for the Holly Jolly Follies. As of Thursday morning, the day of the event, there was no idea what the stage was going to be. And huge kudos to the Wild Goose players for coming in and working so hard to make that stage absolutely magical. Even to the point that at the very end, when there was a group sing of Let It Snow, there was snow falling down. So huge shout out to David Stern and everybody in the Wild Goose players. And I'm not going to mention a lot of specific names because I'm afraid I will forget somebody.
Right.
And a huge thank you to everyone that donated prizes, whether they be the live auction items or the silent auction items. And again, I'm afraid to inadvertently miss someone. So everyone out there that donated, you know who you are, and we are eternally grateful for your donation and your support, and everybody that came out that night. And I think for the folks that didn't come out that night, they might be feeling a little something. And I think we have a slide that that indicates exactly what they fear of missing out. It was a fun event.
It really was. I was in the audience, and it was incredible. I was so happy I went. And I got related to Marty. I was in tears laughing at some of the times. It was just the skits were so funny, the songs were so good, and everybody came and they were on their A game. Mm-hmm. They were just. It was so good.
Well, I think the whole point. So we as Rotary decided that we would do something lighthearted and fun. Mm-hmm. And we certainly don't have the acting or the singing chops that the Wild Goose players have. So we did our own little rendition of
the
12 Days of Christmas. And unfortunately, to my knowledge, there's no actual pictures of the performance. There's a picture of the rehearsal.
Uh-huh.
And we just wanted to have fun with it. We reenacted There Is the Tree from the Partridge in a Pear Tree, and we had some golden rings, and we had some geese a-laying, and some ladies dancing, and some lords a-leaping, and some drummers. Maids a-milking. We had some maids a-milking. The maids were milking.
The maids were milking.
And ladies were dancing.
Yes.
I know there was some dancing on stage. And there was a partridge.
Yes.
And we just had fun with it. And I think the audience had fun. And I think that our goal is to make it a really community event for people to look forward to, and to kind of kick off the Christmas season. And there was a nice sing-along at the end, and there was recognizable Christmas, not necessarily Christmas, but holiday songs. And they did one of my favorite holiday songs. They did Sisters.
Oh, yes. I was
Sisters from White Christmas. And so I think that our goal is to do it every year and to make it, each year make it maybe a little bit more of a community event. We had reached out to see if there was a school group that was willing to come and sing. We would have had a school group sing the 12 Days of Christmas. Well, we acted it out, but the timing, it was hard. It was kind of it's hard to, you have to kind of plan that thing way, way in advance. But just want to give a huge shout out again to everybody and let you all know that it was a fundraiser, and the money that we raised will help the Wild Goose players continue to do what they do, and the money that also will help Rotary continue to do what we do, which is reinvest in the community and community events and community areas that need just a little help sometimes. So that's kind of what Rotary does.
And it really was an uplifting community event.
It was a good, and there's and I thank you to everybody that turned out, because we did do a last minute scramble to get to get the word out. But I think next year that it'll be easier, because people have kind of seen the couple of years of the event. They understand what it is now. Good. So, and just one more Rotary thing that we have coming up. So it is that time of the year for Rotary to do their annual free holiday movie showing at the Opera House. And this year it's going to be Puss in Boots.
Yeah.
Because Puss in Boots 2 is coming out.
I was thinking your timing is impeccable, because I've been seeing all these ads for Puss in Boots 2.
There might have been somebody at the Opera House who might have said, why don't you do, because they're very wise down there, why don't you do Puss in Boots? Because Puss in Boots 2 is coming out. And she knew that, it was Jen, she knew that that they would be advertising for it. So it was it was made sense. So that's happening on Sunday at 12 p.m. It is a free movie. It is open to anyone that wants to go. Yeah. And it is sponsored by the Bells Falls Rotary Club.
Great. That's amazing. So for your kids on a pre-Christmas thing.
And it's a Sunday afternoon, so it's not interfering with maybe other things. It's tough. It was always tough on a Saturday, because I think people have a lot of Saturday events, so we moved it to Sunday, a quieter time. And then tonight, the classic movie, sponsored by Masuko and Stern, is Elf. And that is
that's fun too. Yes.
And I think it probably is a good thing to talk about. And we've talked about this before, that I'm going to guess moving forward that Masuko and Stern will not be sponsoring movies, and then Tom Call may or may not. Tom Call Excavation, I don't know if they're going to continue to sponsor movies, but so the Opera House has lost two of their really constant sponsors. So I think that if anyone's out there, just a reminder, other businesses, it's a great way to get your name out in the community. It's a nice community thing. And I think that even if you're not in a business, but say you had a group, I've seen this happen before. There was some movie recently that 5 or 6 people sponsored. Really? They sponsored it. I think I can remember reading the names. So there's lots of options, but to keep the classic movie nights available for people, I think it's just fun. It's fun to see these old movies on the screen. Then you go.
A lot of people never saw the movies like that. They have ever seen those movies on a big screen. And it's just it's a different, and you realize, like I said, how far we've come in movie making when you see some of the older movies. But and the actual movies, the regular movies coming up at the Opera House. The movie Devotion. Do you know anything about that one? I've seen trailers on TV. It's about one of the first African American fighter pilots that was during the Korean War. He flies an F-4U Corsair,
which Mike just probably happens to know about.
Yes, but anyway, yeah.
So that's coming to the Opera House the 9th through the 13th, and then Avatar's going to be this December 16th through January 20th. So Avatar's going to be one that's going to run quite a few weeks again.
But again, that's another. Is it Ridley Scott? He did that, and it was.
I think
this time they go back and it's underwater, and they do all these things.
Yeah, you lost me on that one. That's why it's good that Mike knows these things, because there's some I'm not versed on Avatar-ish kind of movies.
Oh, that's right. No science fiction for you.
Not so much. No,
I love science fiction.
Not there. So what have you been working on? You've been working on some stuff in Saxons River, or trying to.
And next week is going to be the big Saxons River reveal. How's that? The new Saxons River.
We'll just tease you this week with it.
We'll tease you. But I was over Thanksgiving. I was at Thanksgiving dinner, and I was talking with Rick Holloway. I don't know if you know Rick Holloway.
I do. He's actually on the board of directors for Fact TV.
He is.
He is.
Full disclosure there.
Full disclosure.
And but he was telling me all the things that are happening in Saxons River, because there's just I'll go just the Saxons River Market has new owners, and they're open up and they're doing new and exciting things. The Saxons River Inn has new owners.
That's awesome.
Yeah, isn't it? And they're renovating and getting ready to open. I'm not sure how much. I'm hoping to meet with them this week, and I'll be able to talk to what's happening. But they're sort of not quite ready to reveal all
of course.
everything and say exactly what's going to happen. But then also the I'm going to get this wrong. Flying Crow, I believe it's the coffee company.
Yes, Flying Crow.
Is Flying Crow. They're moving in and they've started coffee roasting operations already, but they're going to end up doing some more.
And I think they're going into what people would commonly refer to as the old hardware store building.
Yeah.
It was an iteration of things, but for a long time it was a hardware store. Then it was a print shop, so it's directly across from the inn. Yeah,
directly across, and then right next door to them, there's going to be a pop-up barbecue place opening.
Par 13, right? Par
13.
Biggest, I don't know.
They were at the golf course all summer. They're going to do all winter. They're going to be at the
nice. The old Vermont Pretzel building. For those, I know you always have to say what something used to be sometimes for people for point of reference, and that's where Vermont Pretzel was for many years.
So there's really almost Main Street Arts has been going through this renaissance too, where they're changing around and becoming more community focused. So they're like right next door to that, and then the building next door to that, they're doing this project with
the old Tenney lumber building.
The old Tenney lumber building, right? Is they're trying to come up with a something. What are they going to do with that building?
They were doing. We had Amy on. Was it a few months ago? Talking about they had some public hearings on that.
And
correct?
There's going to be another. I'm not sure whether it's a public hearing or a reveal on the 15th.
Right, because they had two. They had someone come in to moderate, right? And then to kind of get ideas.
I guess they got a grant from a college, and these college kids come in and did this study, and they're going to reveal what they came out with. I think on the 15th. So we're supposed to. We'll be on once more. We're going to be at the 14th, which will be the day before that. We'll be talking about Saxons River and that, because they're trying to figure what's going to happen there. And I've heard that they thought about moving the firehouse there. They've talked about doing another park. They've talked about putting a sort of a mini mall idea, I guess. And so there's all sorts of different ideas, but I'm not sure which are going to rise.
Which bubble to the top. That's nice. It's nice to see, because at one time, I mean, early in my career, I worked out at the inn at Sexton's River, and that was when it was quite a hub of activity between the market and so it was the inn, and then we had the building across the street was also part of the inn, and there was Main Street Arts, and there was the pizza place, and there was Tenney's Lumber was still there, and it was really a thriving little community that had a lot of active businesses. It's always been a nice like housing community, a nice place with nice housing stock and stuff. But it's through everything, it's lost some businesses, and it's nice. It's awesome that it's coming back, and that businesses are because it is a well-traveled road. It is it's not that big a deal to go from here out there if you're looking for someplace to eat, or you want to go are they eventually opening the coffee shop, or are they just roasting?
I think they're going to open it as a see, that's the other. I need
to
figure all these things out. But I think they're opening as a coffee shop, and they're
nice.
already roasting and doing deliveries, which I didn't realize you could have them deliver beans to your house.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like call up for pizza. You could call up for.
Yeah, can I have a pound of beans, please? That's awesome. So
Yeah.
that's something to look forward to next week. We'll be talking about hopefully getting some folks in.
Getting some actual details and things in. But it's pretty exciting, because, like, I remember when we first moved here, the Saxon River was just that. It was a hub, and they used to be. If you went to the Christmas party at, remember they used to have the mixers there.
Yes, and funny you mentioned that. We didn't even plan that segue. Yes, years and years for years.
Yeah,
the biggest chamber mixer, the holiday mixer, that's traditionally sponsored by Coda and Quota, was actually held at the inn at Saxons River, and it was like the mixer to go to.
Yeah.
So this year, the holiday mixer is tomorrow night. It's back in its full glory, and it's going to actually be held at the Masonic Temple. So it's from 5:30 to 7 p.m. at the Masonic Temple, open to I think it's open to more than just
Yeah, I think
chamber
yeah,
mixers. You can if you're
you
not
can
in the
go. If
chamber.
it's
I'm
chamber
pretty sure they'll
mixer-
let you in the door. There'll be some silent auction items, and then there's of course the traditional quote unquote a gift of warmth.
Right.
So how that generally works is everyone's can put their business card into the drawing. I think actually everyone can be in the drawing.
Yeah.
They draw a name, and then you then choose if you can do one of two things. If you know of someone that can use that oil, then you can donate it.
Yes.
If you don't, then you let Coda and Coda know. I don't know. I
don't have.
I don't have a person,
preference, but
and they always have a list. They have a
Yeah,
list like a
yeah.
mile long, so they'll find someone that can
Yeah.
can use that oil.
And that's tomorrow night.
That's tomorrow night at
At-
the
At the
Masonic
Moose.
Temple.
Oh, at the Masonic Temple. I'm gonna get that wrong.
Masonic Temple, 61 Westminster Street.
And I would encourage everyone to go because I think it's also sort of a recruitment tool for the chambers that
Yep.
everybody goes. You can see who's in the chamber. You mix, you match, you do whatever you know.
It's just fun.
And
It
it's
was
fun.
for
It's
so
another-
long. It was like the staple event of the holiday season.
it was,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it's nice that it's back. It's taken a few years
Well,
to get
COVID
comfortable,
sort of-
to get people comfortable. But yeah, it's a fun event. So I would highly recommend that to folks tomorrow night.
And then if you happen to be around on Friday night,
What's happening on Friday night?
it's ladies' night.
I thought you were going to break into song. Is it cool? Is it cool in the gang that
Yeah, it
does
was
lady?
something
I
like that.
thought for sure you were going to break into song. Dang.
Yeah, I don't.
Your singing days are over. You don't really
I'm
break
not
into
as
song.
talented as you are. I'm sorry.
I don't usually break into song either, except if I'm in my car.
Okay.
Then if you ever pass me in my car and my mouth is moving, I'm probably singing to whatever's on my radio. So yeah, ladies' night back in
Ladies'
full
night?
force this year.
Yeah. So you have to hit the streets on Friday night, and
Friday night.
I'm sure that you can go get a glass of wine at
believe
about several different
places will
But
have adult
holidays,
beverages,
definitely.
holidays for sure. I believe that Rock and Hammer is known to sometimes have adult beverages
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well. So there's
And
oftentimes
you can get a discount.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at least at several of the places, the proceeds, the profits go to
To a charity,
to
right?
a charity like the cancer or something like that. Yeah.
So that's a definite. It definitely feels like things are. I don't know if you want to say normal, but things are certainly
Yes.
coming back.
Yes.
I mean, I think they had Ladies' Night last year, but I think it was still in that kind of
Everybody was like,
sort of
yeah,
restricted
yeah,
mode, sort
yeah.
of. Now I think it's pretty open. And then, have you heard what's happening on Saturday?
No, I was just trying to figure that out. What's happening on Saturday?
Saturday. Well, let me
Oh.
fill you in. And I do believe we have a picture on this one too.
All right.
Oh nope. Go
Nope,
to another.
we're
Go to
good
the next
yet.
one.
No,
There we go.
There we are.
Thank you. Sorry, I missed my cue on that one. We have the Parade of Lights. So that's from the Parade of last year was the first year.
Yes.
It was a great event. Tons of people joined it, and then this year, but last year it was a really limited parade route.
Mm-hmm.
This year it's going to be the full alumni parade route.
Full
so
loop.
The full loop, the full scooping of the loop. Starts at 5 p.m. I just want to reiterate, Betsy was here a few weeks ago, and just to remind folks that are going to be in the parade that there's no throwing
Don't throw
candy.
candy.
You can hand candy. They're asking that there's not a lot of there's no like Santas because they think there's a surprise at the end, so they don't
Oh,
want to
okay.
confuse
That's
the
good.
Santas.
Yeah.
And
don't want to confuse the little kids.
yeah, and just a reminder that it will be, there will be some delays in traffic because it's
Yeah,
going to be the full.
definitely.
And from what I understand, I think there's about 40 entries right now, like 40
Mhm. Wow,
people that
really?
have signed up already. And then they're expecting that they'll get some last minute ones. And if you haven't entered, then just go to the Bells Falls Downtown Development Facebook page or their website, and you can find the online. It's just an online.
yeah.
I think it's easier to find on their Facebook page. I think it's a link, and you can go. It's just an online form.
Yeah. And if you haven't entered and don't plan on entering, but want to help out, they're looking for
Oh, right.
volunteers. They really need, because if you think about
For
this,
staging.
yeah, it's going to be after dark.
I know. It's
and
going to
so
be.
they're going to really need a lot of, I don't want to say controls, but that's the idea.
Well, they're
is
going to
that-
need a lot of people helping to make sure that people are on the right street in the right lineup. Because what they'll do is it's much like just like the alumni parade, they'll have everybody on certain streets up all Morgan's Field area or all those streets past the fire station. They'll line everyone up so that as people come out, it's like a natural progression of smooth transition of people coming out. And 40 different entries. That's a lot of herding cats.
Yes.
It's a lot of cat herding.
A lot of cats to herd.
Just saying.
Yeah. And it's, like I said, it's dark.
It's dark, and that's a
really,
whole other factor.
if you think about, we got 5 minutes left already.
Oh my
happened?
God.
Anyway, the reason they're not throwing candy is because it's dark.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about handing a person a piece of candy, it's sort of a controlled thing. But if you throw candy into the streets in front of moving vehicles, that can be...
I know, and I would also really caution people that are spectators to be aware that the people that are driving
may not
are going to have a hard time. There's going to be, I would think because everyone's going to have lights, right?
Yeah.
So you got the dark, you got lights. If you're like me now, I'm old, so it's hard. Those lights and stuff kind of bother me. So just be aware as spectators, don't dart across the street. Don't whatever, because I think it's going to be a little bit more of a challenge for the folks that are driving and folks are doing this as a volunteer thing with their businesses or whatever. So just be kind of aware of that.
Yeah, wear reflective clothing.
Wear reflective clothing.
Well,
no, it was true. It was true. Yeah,
it's true. It's like these. It's just so difficult at night. You don't want to be stealthy out there in the.
Yeah, you don't want to be dressed all in black. I digress, but that always fascinates me when I'm driving down the road and you see something. You see this kind of amorphous.
Yeah.
And it's somebody walking along a highway in black.
It's raining at night, and there's a guy dressed all in black.
Whatever. One more thing, because I think we're running out of time. So we had ladies' night this weekend, and then on the 16th, it is not just for men's night. So there's another opportunity for adult beverages and discounts at the local merchants in downtown Bells Falls.
Sounds good.
You finished your list?
Well, let's see. I have Parade of Lights, Chamber Mixer. Oh, a big shout out to the Chester Firefighter of the Year, Jessie Smith.
Awesome. Is she related to the infamous Mike Smith?
She could be. I guess that's sort of nepotism.
That's awesome. She just barely became a firefighter,
and she didn't even tell me. I had to find it out by looking at Facebook, and I said, well, there's a picture of Jessie. And there she's getting an award for being Firefighter of the Year. That's what you get.
Well, congratulations, Jessie.
Anyway. And that's it for this week. I can't believe it went by so fast.
Yeah, it did. Well, we can talk, so we haven't talked in a while. So
we haven't.
Next week, you will not have to listen to just us. We will have someone to break it up.
Have somebody else here.
Bye,
Bye, Bellows Falls. Happy holidays.
Local news, politics, business, sports, arts, music. Mike and Marty.